Thank you for tuning in to another Pro RC Crawler video. Today we are going to give you a quick, easy tutorial on cut and shut tires. If you're not familiar with the term cut and shut, it's essentially where you take one tire or even two tires and you're cutting it either in diameter or down the center to modify it to fit your needs. In this particular video, we're going to be cutting a set of HP gold tires. As they come, for my preference, they're a little bit too wide. So we're going to take a small section out of the center of the tire and then glue it back together to make it a whole tire again, but also narrow the tire down to give a little bit better performance for my liking. Another benefit to narrowing the tire is simply you're able to turn the tire sharper because it does not hit the links as soon. Everyone has their personal preference. These tires are pretty tall as is, so when you narrow them, you are essentially making them taller depending on the foam combination, on the wheel combination. But we could talk days and days about wheel combos, tire combos, foam combos, what the benefits are, But basically this video is just simply a tutorial on how I like to cut and shut them. You can see here how sticky these tires are out of the package. They are gooey. Alright, we're going to jump right into the video here with a brand new GoPro camera angle using the airbrush booth. Hopefully you guys like this view better. I'm going to pinpoint out here, each pin has a sight mark, and that sight mark is going to be what we're going to use to help index where we're going to make our cuts. I'm using a set of ProTech straight scissors. I believe they label these as a tire cutting scissor, but they work really well for this application. Obviously don't use these for anything else other than tire cutting to make sure that they're sharp. But I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to cut right down that center sight mark, creating a hole. Then we're going to insert the scissors and we're going to just start following that center sight mark. Now I'm cutting the pin in half. I'm still leaving half the pin on the tire. We'll find out more about that later. Keeping the scissors straight and using that sight mark as a guide, we're just going to follow all the way around the tire, cutting just a little bit at a time. I'm not going to bore you with letting you watch me cut for 20 minutes straight. We're going to fast forward through some of these sections and just highlight the bullet points and the most important stuff. Hopefully you enjoy it. All right, we're going to speed this up here a little bit. I think we speed this up about 400% here, just so you guys aren't sitting there watching me cut a tire doing the same thing over and over again, but you get the idea. Follow that straight line all the way through. At this point, you are going to now have two halves. You can see here we have a little half nib on this side. That's going to be the side that we keep. We're going to start over on this other side here and repeat the process. Looking for that little center nub, cutting it in half to start. We'll insert the scissors through that hole and start walking it around the tire again. So you'll notice I'm not cutting a whole lot out of this tire. I have debated after gluing this set to go back and make it even narrower, but it's gonna just depend on how wide of wheel that you have. So this set is gonna be for my Sporty, which does have a narrower wheel, and then my Pro has a wider wheel. So it's going to be up to you guys to play a little bit on how wide you want to go. The reason why I'm doing it this way is because I'm basically copying the Bill from the Pro RC Crawler page. He pointed out that if you cut this tire tread in half, when you go to re-glue it back together, it's going to line up absolutely perfectly and keep uniformity within the pins. So I thought that was a pretty smart idea, and so that's what I went with this time around. If you decide you want to go narrower, you can literally just cut the tire right down the glue line and start all over. So that's completely up to you guys. So we'll go ahead and speed it up here so we can get on to the next step. All right, so we've got our 2 halves here. You can see this is the section that I cut out. Again, not much, but it does make a difference that you'll see here at the end of the video. I'm just using some standard Proline tire glue, J Concepts, aka all the RC tire brands seem to work great for me. And then this is a little kit that I bought on Amazon. I'll throw a link in the description. This just gives you some metal tips of different diameter sizes. It was super cheap, way more cost effective to buy this on Amazon than buy it from a little bulk pack from a tire company. I'm going to start out with the blue tip here, and it just allows you to control the flow of the glue a lot easier. Right now I'm going to simply put a small dab of glue on the inside wall, if you will, of where I cut the tire, and less is more. The more glue you put on here, the longer it takes to dry. So I like to just put just enough glue. What I'm doing is I'm lining up those 2 halves, then I'm going to stick them together, making sure that everything is parallel and the same height. It's pretty easy to do. The first little glue patch is usually the hardest to get the tire set. I just slightly push it together, wait for some dry time, 5-10 seconds, and then I start the process. So you can start on either side of the tire, whatever you're comfortable with. I usually go about 3/8 of an inch, or in this case up to the next rib, a small amount of glue, and then I'm going to stick that little half again. Make sure that the little half nub has glue on the side of it, and make sure the side walls, the inner side walls, have glue on them, and then you're just going to touch and press them together. Hold it for a few seconds. Make sure you have a good nice little bond seam. And then I will flip the tire and I will glue the other side. That way the right side is drying while I start on the left, and vice versa. And I just start that process. The first 4 or 5 little glue patches seem to take the longest, and then you will start to get a rhythm and really start being able to accelerate your gluing around the tire. You can glue whatever you feel comfortable with in the amount of. And like I said, I can't stress enough, less glue is better than too much glue. If you don't think you've used enough glue, don't worry about it. Once you're done, you can go through, and if you have a little section that didn't adhere all the way, you can put some glue in it. I used to take the tire and flip it inside out once it was all done, and then add a little glue seam down the center. The problem with that, though, is if you add too much glue to the tire in general, you create a hard, thick patch down the center of the tire. The object here is just to put enough glue to bond the rubber back together so that you have a narrower tire, but we're not trying to hinder performance. And that's where these little metal syringe style glue tips really come into play. So again, just to the left side, so jumping back over to the right side. These tires are rather simple. Narrowing the tire down the center is often easier because you have a baseline to go off of. Wait a couple seconds and then back over to the left side. So you can see how quick you can bounce from left to right, continuing the process. I'm going to head and stop talking here. We'll speed it up a little bit, and we'll move to the next little area. Alright, I got to this point and decided that the blue tip was still giving me too much glue. And so I'm going to drop it down to the orange tip, which is a little bit smaller in diameter. hopefully control the flow a little bit and put a little bit less glue than the blue tip was. Halfway through the tire now, going back over to the left side, and at this point I can definitely tell this tip is going to be better for me. Put a little bit on the sidewall of the pin itself, and then on the inner sidewall, and then again stick down, wait a few seconds. You can see I bend the tire a little bit with my thumbs, and that's just to put some pressure on the two inner sidewalls as I'm allowing them to adhere together. And at this point I get a little bit more confident. The more you glue, the little bit more rigid the two halves get, and you can start gluing, if you're comfortable, you can start gluing a little bit longer patch. There's a couple here where I hit 2 pins at once instead of just a single pin, simply to speed it up some more. I've got the editing at 750% right now to speed this up. I just wanted to note that I did pay full retail for these parts. I'm not sponsored by anyone. However, I bought the tires and I bought some foams from Deluxe on this one. They have the stuff in stock, and I needed to get some other items as well. For those companies that are watching the vehicles, I can't be bought, but I am also always interested in trying something new. So if you want to have something highlighted or bring something to my attention, please feel free to do so. Follow us on Facebook and as Instagram as well. We got a bunch of comps coming up, and some big comps. Arizona Summer Shootout is coming up as well, and we definitely want to make sure we get some footage at those events, and looking forward to it. Local comp scene's a little bit small. I've been doing a lot of judging, so I don't have a lot of footage from those events. But we have gone to, I think, 4 comps now. We got one coming up on February 10th, and looking forward to doing some more as well. All right, so at this point, I'm getting towards the end of the tire, and so far looks like I'm perfect. I'm right in line. All the tread patterns are lining up. You'll notice when I get towards the end of the tire, I don't glue as much. I start to grow about, I would say, glue about an 1/8 inch on each side, and I'm using my thumbs more to make sure that because the tire is now almost uniform again, the sidewalls the interior sidewalls, they don't want to hold as well. So I add my glue to the side of it, let the tire go back to normal shape, and then you'll see I'm just using my thumbs to roll the inner sidewalls with the glue on them, making sure that they make perfect contact. You can see the tire's almost done here. It's got this little bit left. What is that? Just under 3/4 of an inch. So I'll just put a little bit all the way across. I'm feeling confident, and I'm gonna seal her up here with this last press. So I grab the bottom side, and then the top side here, I'm forcing it down with my thumb, holding it down a little bit, just making sure that those sidewalls hold together nicely. And man, there we go. Missed a little spot here, a little 1/8 of an inch. Add some glue. Press and hold. Right, and there we go. So this one tire is down. You can see the difference here. The stock tire on the left, my new narrow tire on the right. It's a pretty large visual difference here, so it's definitely worth the effort. I think overall, without speeding, about 25 minutes a tire. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that quick tutorial on narrowing a tire set. I started on this one here and used the wrong scissors, so I'm going to go back and finish this one up. If you guys are liking the videos, please make sure to make a comment, make sure to subscribe. If you have a fellow RC friend of yours or RC nerd, please show them our channel. Let's get some more reviews up here. If you guys have any content that you're interested in, also leave a comment below, and we'll try to get them up online. As always, Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys all out on the rocks soon.